Are you or any of your family members affected by mesothelioma? Please go to audibletrial.com/PBT and browse an unmatched selection of audio programs to help you with your mesothelioma woes. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/PBT.
Hey, what's crappin' everybody? This is another edition of Peanut Butter and Triggered. I'm Jay Eastwood, one of your hosts, and I'm joined by the man with no father, Mr. Moneybags, Mr. I'm gonna rent my room out for $800 a month.
Oh, guys, one sec. There he is. Oh,
That's you.
I thought it was my dad. It's me though. It's Jacob. He wasn't there.
He went out for a pack of
we have
smokes.
this long game of hide and seek going. Still haven't found him.
Rip.
Oh my god. All right, and then also joined by.
Hey, yo, it's me, Scott.
Yeah, great. Welcome back to Peanut Butter and Triggered. We got a doozy for you. We're gonna be finally reviewing Jacob's choice for I'm putting air quotes up for a movie, and then we're also gonna be
Around
covering
Jacob or the movie?
both, actually. Weirdly enough,
Yeah.
it's
It's neither my movie I chose,
and it's not even Jacob anymore.
and it's not me. But I really did enjoy it, actually.
Oh yeah, you didn't necessarily choose this one. You chose my name. How
I
does
didn't.
Jacob keep getting conned out of picking his own movie?
It's fucking... It sucks, okay?
All right. Anyway, we're also going to be doing our playing, doing, watching, and we're going to be covering some news. And that was not our particular order for the agenda. We're going to be starting out with the news. So, Scotty, do you have any news for us?
News. Let me just tell you about a little bit of news that I have. I had some news and I forgot it. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, no worries. There's actually
I wasn't ready.
Well,
He's like, news, fuck, looking through his paper. He's
I
like,
tried.
news.
I
Can't
tried.
find the news.
well.
Oh, actually, I do have news. I
me
take that
find
back.
mine.
I have my news story. So there's an all-female. I just sent it to you guys. There's an all-female League of Legends pro team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They recently have been playing in both the winter and I think they said the spring and the fall tournaments they played. They had 27 deaths per game, which is 10 more than any other team, and they managed to not win a single game. So League of Legends' first ever all-female team has been ousted. They kicked them out because of, I believe the quote was, low skill cap or something like that. So that's kind of interesting. The first female team is so terrible that they just get kicked out.
They're like, at least we tried.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you're not that good, then you're going to get kicked out.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't bode well for anybody. I'm assuming if you suck, you can't just like get a participation trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, whatevers.
But Jay, I know you had some news too.
Yeah. I haven't seen this movie, but the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie dropped on Valentine's Day, and I had really low expectations for this, but apparently it doesn't suck. It's getting like a C. Metacritic actually gives it a 47%. That's not a C. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 64%. That's a D. But IMDb is rated at 6.9. That's also a D. So I guess I should have said it's been getting it average, maybe a D, which isn't downright awful. I was
Could be
expecting
worse.
maybe an F, honestly. But I don't know. Maybe it's worth a watch on Netflix.
I want to see, because I heard that he just outright lost a lot of money making the original Sonic that he had made
I'm
before he
sure.
remade it. So I wonder how much money he had to profit in order to break even after losing so much, and then like before the movie even came out.
Well, the budget was $95 million, and I'm assuming that that's just including the redesign and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why anyone would possibly want to make a Sonic movie.
It's classic.
Yeah.
But it's a video game about it's Sonic. Like to me, I'm not thinking like, this Hedgehog would make a dope movie.
I would think that though, but like if you really do think about it, what video game movie has done well? We've covered this in a previous episode.
Warcraft movie.
Jacob, stop.
Did well in China.
So did the coronavirus.
Yep.
Oh,
Look at that. The coronavirus is killing it.
Yep. What's a good? Oh, that Mario Brothers movie was dope.
Yeah, but it did terrible, and it's actually not dope.
You know what's funny about those movies is I genuinely love those movies, and every time I'm like, dude, that movie was so good, and I look at the reviews and they're dog shit.
You know what movie I loved that was a video game movie as a kid? Double fucking Dragon. Loved it.
Oh yeah, but that's
shit.
like camp. It's so campy. It's good.
But me
I
as a
haven't
young
watched it.
kid, loved it.
Yeah.
Was I born?
No. I'm pretty sure it was like, I'm guessing.
You were
I'm
96.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'd say. I'd guess 90. I would guess it was in 95.
It was 93, I think.
Oh yeah, I
wow.
watched that. Yeah, I watched that when I was in my mom's stomach.
You were in
Pretty
your
good.
stomach.
Good
She
watch.
crapped you out.
Yeah, I watched it through her poopy hole.
Nice.
Pretty
Her
good.
poo-poo hole.
Yeah,
Can you tell me some other anatomy from your
Yeah.
mom?
it's called her chocolate starfish.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
That's another name for her poo-poo hole?
Yeah,
It was 1994. So you're lying because that movie wasn't even released yet.
You know that throwback to I used to go to this pizza parlor and they had a Double Dragon game on Nintendo, and it was just, instead of having like your regular arcade machine, they just had like a little TV with a Nintendo on it. Loved
You know,
going there.
I
do
played
you
that game.
remember things from 1996?
Yes.
100%.
That's so crazy.
I was 5 years old, dude.
Wow.
It's not. I mean, I wouldn't say that I remember it overly well, but I remember things from when I was 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean,
Yeah. I was 7, so I remember
That's
pretty well.
crazy.
Do you not
I don't
remember
remember
stuff
anything.
from when you were 7?
No, I do. I don't remember things from when I was 6 months old.
No, that's not true. You told me your dad was going to go out for a pack of smokes.
No, he's playing basketball actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
still playing basketball.
Mom said, "All right, have fun." Haven't seen him since.
And then you went to go play San Andreas with his roommates?
Oh, dude, that was. Yeah, dude, I got a chock full of those stories. If you ever want me to just unleash one, just let me know.
Tell me the most memorable story that you have with your dad, like your best meal that you've had with your dad.
This isn't best meal, but this does involve food. So my dad, for once, my mom got kind of pissed, so she kept buying plane tickets once a year for me to go see my dad for like a week. And she was like, "You need to come see your son. Like, you need to come over here." So he was like, "All right, cool." So he bought a plane ticket, came over, and it was staying at a hotel, maybe like 5 minutes away from my house, and my mom forced me to go stay at the hotel with him, like sleep there overnight. And I really didn't want to, but she like made me. I didn't have a choice because I was like 12 or 13. And I went to go stay over there, and my dad felt sick. Apparently so sick that he had to go to the hospital. He went to the hospital. He literally put on TV, he said, "All right, I'll be back soon." And I was just sitting in this hotel for like 5 hours. Didn't have anything. Didn't have a cell phone. Just was watching TV the whole time. And he comes back and goes, "Oh, yeah, I got food poisoning. I'm gonna go to bed." And just went to bed.
I have something to tell you, Chief. He is probably lying.
Oh, for sure he was fucking lying. How convenient was him to get food poisoning after he wasn't even here for 24 hours, dude? It was like the worst day ever. I was like, and he didn't like. He came back at like 1 a.m. Like, dude, because I usually stay up late. I've always stayed up late my whole life, and
That's
dude,
depressing.
yeah, I know. Waiting for my dad to come back. And dude, honestly, after that, I was like, "Mom, don't ever fucking make me stay over there ever again."
Jacob,
And I called her bitch in my head.
Jacob, if I know you as well as I think I do, I'm pretty sure he was faking it.
Dude, he was totally faking it. He's probably doing drugs.
No, I just meant that like maybe he just didn't want to hang out with you.
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't love me either. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, what other news do we have? Now that we've
Thanks for
judged
laughing
up
at my
the
pain.
past. Yeah.
Hey, so that PlayStation 5 article.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Ooh.
Hey, let me pull her up right here. So PlayStation 5, oddly enough, this is actually kind of a weird year for those of you who have um, kind of been around for normal releases of consoles. Generally, early in the year they announce it, or the year before they announce the console itself. To come the next holiday, and they always come with a price tag. This is an odd year. Both consoles have basically been announced for all intents and purposes, with the Series X being shown. The neither of them have got a price tag, and apparently they're thinking because, for one, PlayStation is trying really hard to not release a price tag until Xbox Series X releases its price tag. But I don't know. I think that PlayStation is going to be the second to release a price tag, although it said that their unit cost is anywhere from $450 to $470 per unit. And to give you an idea, they're saying it has similar profit margins to that of the PlayStation 4 Pro. The PlayStation 4 Pro is selling for $399 a unit, meaning that PlayStation is losing anywhere from $50 to $70 per unit on a PlayStation 4. Again, the reason they do that is because they make a lot more money up when you buy PlayStation Plus, when you purchase a video game. That's where they make all their money. So we should see coming soon how much the PlayStation 5 will be, but they might have to wait until the Series X is done. What do you guys think?
Well, we kind of covered this last week, but it's going to be one of those things that they're definitely not going to reveal a price of in order to stay competitive.
I don't think it's going to beat my $150 rig.
No, definitely not. Nothing can.
You can't even buy here. I'll sell you. I have a GTX 960. I'll sell you for $150.
I'm sorry, I have to build a whole computer with that money. Will you take 10?
You son of a bitch.
Hey, funny thing, I'll say this. I just got a text from my guy, Jeremy. He says, watched Ninja Scrolls last night. So fucking good, dude.
Oh.
I'm excited to get into it, and we'll talk about that. I just wanted to say that while I got it. Hey, Jay, you have some other stuff. Let's hear.
Yeah, actually I have a few other things. Tom Hardy just released some photos of the pre-production shots of Woody Harrelson as Cletus Cassidy in the new Venom 2 movie. He looks as expected, except they definitely toned down his hair. He doesn't have such a goofy haircut like he did in the post-credit scene in Venom. And for as far as we know, everything's still anticipated to be an R-rated movie. And then the way that this is supposed to tie in with the Sinister Six and the new Morbius movie that's still to be seen, but it should be pretty well tied into each other because with everything being able to kind of play nicely together with the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe and Sony and so forth. So if you haven't seen it, go take a look at some of the photos. They were leaked on Instagram. They've been since taken down, but IGN has some pretty good stills of it, so definitely take a look at it. Speaking of super hero shit, the new Batman suit was teased in a teaser trailer. It looks really cool. It looks just as basic as you would expect. It's not like the Michael Keaton suit that he couldn't turn his head in, and it's also not like the moving armor suit that Christian Bale wore for like the Dark Knight series. It's somewhere in between. And also the cowl is just leather, so that is actually kind of a difference between all of those suits. It actually does look really good, and it appears as if the bat on the chest plate is made from a recycled gun, so it's kind of cool.
That is cool. Something a little different.
Yeah. And as far as like what everybody's been told to, this is gonna take place like not as an origin story. It's gonna be somewhere in the middle of Batman's career as Batman, kind of like a year one thing. But it's supposed to highlight his detective skills.
Interesting. We'll see. There's been a lot of Batmans lately.
Well, and on top of that too, like there's been a ton of confirmed characters too. So I can't remember the Batman series, but it's basically where it features his entire rogues gallery. I think it's called, like, it had something to do with like the Halloween holiday. Like there's a crime every single holiday, and then he has to basically solve this crime. I'm blanking on the name of the comic, but it was supposed to be really good. I haven't read it yet, so.
Calvin and Hobbes, I think.
Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes. That's
That's
it.
There's only crime on holidays?
No, there's a major crime that happens on a holiday.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, he gets a pretty big break.
That's actually kind of tight. That would be
like,
dope. It's called Batman: The Long Halloween. I'm serious. That's the name of the title.
Oh, really?
Not of the movie, but of the comic that I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
The Long Halloween.
Like, wow.
It's a 13 issue. And then lastly, one other like quick thing that this could actually kind of bleed into our playing, doing, watching. This is music news, which is kind of a departure from what we normally do. The Strokes have released a new single for all of you that are interested in any sort of like indie rock. The Strokes released a new single called Bad Decisions. It's kind of a reunion to what they've normally done before, like First Impressions and the 80s Come Down Machine album. So if you're interested, go check it out. I really did dig it. The music video is really cool. It's like a 3.5-minute song.
Oh, I forgot to say, I have one more piece of news.
Oh, nice.
Final Fantasy VII apparently is around the 100 gigabyte mark with a leaked picture of the spine or the back of the box, and it's going to come on multiple Blu-rays. Let me just say, as it's getting closer, release date of April 10th, that game is looking more and more interesting to me. Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games. I beat it multiple times, and the idea of seeing all my favorite places in beautiful, rendered beautifully, I'm kind of excited about that. Although Final Fantasy VII is very anime-y, which is not a departure from what I normally like. But
nothing wrong with anime, Scott.
I like it a lot.
That was actually perfect.
But that's the only one I had. I don't know if you guys have anything else, but
I just side note about Final Fantasy VII. I had a coworker today who actually had brought up Final Fantasy. He said that
Lyndon?
it's one of the games he plays while he's playing Destiny, because I think it's a turn-based RPG.
Yep. Yeah, so you can put the controller down and
yeah.
That guy might be low-key like one of the better gamers that I know, and he never fucking talks about it either.
Dude, I'd smash him. I'd put it into his fucking career.
Shut up.
He's trash.
Shut up.
He thinks he's good and he's not.
Shut up. Okay,
a tool.
So
all right, cool.
What's our playing, doing, watching? Scotty, why don't you start this time?
Okay. Playing, doing, watching. Watching more Curb Your Enthusiasm. Most of the way through season 8, I want to say. Not the newest season, but the season right before the newest season. Still, I don't know. We'll see.
Don't slander it.
Warm on it. So I've been watching that one. And then, of course, I watched our movie. Other than that, mostly what I've been playing is Call of Duty. Although, since I talked to you guys last, I really haven't played a whole lot. I have just had a busy week, so I haven't played or watched much. I watched Frozen 2 yesterday. Wow.
Great.
Yeah. I didn't think it was as good as the first one. But my wife really liked it, so that's good. And that's all I got. What about you, Jacob?
Oh, well, playing. Been spamming that Apex. I'm actually I think I'm trying to go semi-pro. I think I'm gonna do it.
Have you been playing with our boy Nate?
Actually, I did play with Nate the other night. Uh, I really, dude, Nate. Honestly, Nate likes to think he's not as good as he actually is. He's not like amazing at Apex. He's not really that good, but Nate's pretty good at like just generic FPS games. And I mean, he kind of like gets the hang of it. And I was playing with him, and he died. Like it was me and one of my like IRL friends, and uh, while we played, he was doing pretty good for somebody who's only played like 10, 15 games max. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with Nate.
He said he's been playing a lot. That's what he told me.
Yeah, dude, it's addicting. I'm telling you, once you start playing Apex, dude, you just get in this like hole and you can't get out. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper.
Well,
But been spamming that. Like I just play like every day. And then just been doing like a lot of house shit, like just closes on the 21st hopefully, so like coming up on the last days, and it's just funny like how when you buy a house they're like, all right, I don't know if you're at work or not, but I need you to sign this paperwork today, and you're just like, what? So it's been kind of annoying, but I'm just can't wait for that shit to be over. And then as far as like what I've been watching, I really haven't been watching a lot, other than like I've watched like my just normal shows. I catch up on anime like Black Clover, My Hero Academia. Yeah, that's what every weeb does. And then I watched Ninja Scrolls, and we'll get to that part. You're probably not gonna like my opinion on it, but
Jay?
I have been doing similar things. I also watched Jacob's quasi pick. I have been caught up on The Outsider, which has taken a supernatural turn, and I'm just gonna say it. There is one character in there that's so fucking annoying. It's the Holly Gibney character, played by Cynthia Erivo. So fucking annoying. I can't stand any single like scene that she's in because the way that they wrote her dialogue. She's probably a great actress. This is the first thing I've seen her in, but her dialogue and her character arc is just so fucking annoying. But go ahead.
You know what's funny about that? That actually also exists in anime too. Every once in a while you get that character that like, dude, every time they talk, I just want to fucking like pull them off. Just beat the shit out of them.
Just like erase them out of the
series.
Just take
them out of the show.
Yeah. So she's super annoying, but like overall, it's still it's sliding down to make a B minus. But I have a feeling that something crazy is going to happen. And it's going to slide right back up to a B or B plus. Curb Your Enthusiasm was great. This last episode, hilarious. Really, really awesome twists and turns throughout the episode. So fuck you, Scott. Sorry, that was really aggressive. As I was saying, I was like,
yeah,
I
fuck you,
bad.
Scott.
So fuck you, Jacob. And the other thing that I watched, or I started watching, I'm blanking on the name of the movie. I'll come back with it later because Katie watched Ninja Scrolls with me, and she suggested another movie. By the way, it's funny because like all of these Jacob picks, she's been totally down to watch with me. Oddly enough.
Nice.
And they're not even Jacob's picks, which I think is hilarious. But anyway, so that's basic. Oh, and I beat Pokemon Sword, so I'm just like.
Have you caught them all though?
Fuck no. Do you know how many Pokemon there are now?
Yeah, dude. I'm playing Pokemon Go. That's the other thing I'm playing right now. I did do a raid the other day.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Got me. I got the dude who rides on the cloud. I don't remember what his name is.
Okay, so fuck Pokemon. There's 890 of them now.
Oh.
There's like one or two people who have ever collected them all on Pokemon Go.
Jesus Christ, that really frustrates me. There's no fucking way.
Do you want to know why Katie likes my picks?
Because they're not yours.
Because I got good taste. Are you continue about Pokemon?
Oh, well,
I got Tornadus. That's what I got.
They're not your picks though, so that's
they
technically
are.
not.
And your grading system sucks, but
it's technically not even your pick. So I don't even know what to tell you. Like your logic
I
there is
can't even
flawed.
say anything. You're 100% right. It's not even my pick.
Yeah. Anyway,
I just want to point out, I haven't picked a single show that I've personally wanted to watch yet.
well, guess what?
I've gotten conned out of everything.
That's your problem, dude. Because you're the one that said it was okay.
I agree. It sounded good. I got talked into it, but I
Yeah.
haven't personally picked one yet.
Except one of our listeners, Jackson, said that we should have done Totoro, and he's really bummed out. So maybe
Yeah.
Maybe we can watch that next time.
maybe
Yeah.
that'll be Jacob's pick.
Yeah, that'll be my pick next time.
Okay. We might change it, but
Yeah, depending on what you all want him to watch, we can change that. He's very flexible.
Shows that we have a pretty big anime community on here. Just saying.
yeah, of our 36 listeners, 2 of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Oh, okay. That's it. That's all I've watched, and that's all I've done.
Cool. Hey.
Should we get into it?
Let's. You guys want to talk a little bit about this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just if you don't know, every month me and the boys here are going to be watching one movie. Last month was Dumb and Dumber. This month was Ninja Scroll on quasi Jacob's movie. Next month we will be watching Parasites. This is one that was that kind of came out of nowhere for me, in my opinion. I really want to watch it. My wife suggested us to watch it because she thought it'd be interesting to hear what we have to say, and we haven't watched it. So yeah, if you want to watch it, it's also easy to get. I think on Netflix, or excuse me, on Amazon Prime, it's $4 to rent. So not terrible.
So we need more people to subscribe to Audible so we can afford that.
Yeah.
audibletrial.com/PBT.
That's the best one of those pre-rolls that you've ever done.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about Jubei. Which, real quick, I have a story to tell about Jubei. Have you guys ever played Onimusha?
No.
No.
So Onimusha is basically Resident Evil, but with samurai. And I mean, Resident Evil is probably highly influenced by this particular movie. It's very similar in style, but there's this one part. Your guy's name is Jubei, believe it or not. So.
Shocker.
Yeah, and you're the samurai, and I was playing it once, and you go past this fountain, and there's this lady in this fountain, and she says, Jubei, Jubei, and it just kept looping. And my little sister walked in. This is when I lived at home, and she said, "What are you playing?" And I was like, "I don't know this game." And so now to this day she'll still go, Jubei, and also in her phone as a contact, my name is Jubei.
You know what's funny?
Well, it's because... What?
I watched Mr. Lonely play this, actually.
Onimusha?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I feel
a
like
good game.
I feel like you and Mr. Lonely have a very similar video gameography, like the games that you've played.
It's very eclectic.
Yeah.
But that's all I have to say about that. Hey, Jay, do you want to start it off and talk a little about your opinion?
Yeah, Jacob, I'm sorry. You might actually find some of this
A+.
offensive. No, you might find a little bit of this offensive. The story itself was actually good. And
Phenomenal.
This is how I kept trying to separate it for myself, because the animation, although at first I was kind of turned off by the animation, eventually I started to catch up with it. At first, the characters, and this is not to sound like any sort of way, a lot of the characters look the same.
For sure. I was kind of confused.
God.
Yeah.
They were either feminine or really strong, and I was
You
like,
guys have such a bland taste.
Oh, shut up.
They all look different. They all are clearly drawn so differently.
Hey, shithead.
All of them.
I don't subscribe to Crunchyroll like you do.
The
so I don't have experience.
The only
with
two
this.
people that are, I would say, similarly drawn are the guy that got his arms ripped off and
Yes.
the guy who came back to life.
Well, and the guy, the main character.
Jubei looks like everybody.
He's different.
No, they were
He looks
similarly drawn, because Katie and I both actually got them a little confused. That's why at first it was confusing. Hang on, I'm gonna sneeze.
Salud.
Thank
Well,
you.
when I was watching it, I thought that guy. There's like one guy who got his arms ripped off,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Damn, that Jubai fool just died, dude." I thought he
Yeah.
was gonna be through the rest of the show, but really, that guy wasn't even Jubai at all. That was just some other guy.
Yeah.
I see. So you gotta. This is like any series. You gotta know that the protagonist doesn't die that fast.
Well, how the hell
No,
am I
come on,
supposed to
dude.
know? Didn't
Game
you
of
watch
Thrones isn't
Scream?
Like that.
Oh, Game of Thrones is the exception.
Yeah, in Scream. Remember Drew Barrymore died? First scene?
Yeah.
So anyways, that's the gripe I had with it initially. I was like, okay, well, you guys were saying the animation is so great. Why can't I like tell the difference between some of these characters? But then eventually they're like all extremely different. And then the other thing that I was noticing, like maybe like a quarter of the way through, because I kept like scoffing and sighing at certain things, but I was like, you know what, the story is actually not that bad. Because if it was live action and it wasn't an anime, I'd actually be captivated. So I separated it that way. But I felt like another gripe I had with it, this movie could have also been, it could have had a subtitle. The subtitle I came up with was "Relax, Lady, Stop Being Crazy," because I felt like that's all they kept saying to the poison lady.
The poison taster, which was also
Yeah.
something that was really.
What
goofy.
the hell is her name again?
Dead
No.
bitch.
Well, they kept also not even calling her by her name until like the end of the movie, which was kind of weird.
I also thought it was weird. The only way he could cure his poison is by making love to someone who poisoned you.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Kagero,
Yeah.
Kagero.
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 Whatever. You can't even say Naruto, right?
I'm gonna
Naruto.
fucking kill you.
Anyway, so Kagero, the
Kagero.
whatever.
Kagero.
They kept telling her to stop being crazy and stop being emotional and stuff. Which I don't know if this is true or anything like that, but I've always been told not to tell a woman to relax or tell her to stop being crazy.
It's
So
different in Japanese culture.
yeah, clearly because
How do you
they
know?
also raped her like
You're white as I
twice.
am.
Cause I watch a lot of Japanese anime. It's all the same.
Okay, well, anyways, they also raped her twice, so this movie's
not rape if
clearly
you like
skewed.
it.
Well, she didn't. She was actually clearly not into it.
Yeah, what
Oh.
the fuck are you talking about, Jacob? What movie are you watching?
That was her secret hidden move. She pretends like she doesn't like it, but then she poisons him.
No, she didn't like it, and then she gave in to poison him at ultimately.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's what I feel like the subtitle should have been. Relax, lady, stop being crazy. The other thing that I thought I made notes on this, and maybe we can talk about this a little bit later. 3 things that I noticed that were unintentionally funny. The lady crapped out a snake, and it bites the other girl in the leg.
I didn't feel like that crapped out. Like I felt like came out a different hole.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah,
her vagina.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I even wrote down vagina snake in my notes.
Yeah, me too.
You want to know how you know it's her vagina?
No.
It's actually like extremely illegal to in Japanese culture to record or like see like unless you blur out a vagina in any sort of like hentai or like you know what I'm talking about form. So the fact that they didn't show it means that
He had
means
trouble
that it definitely
saying
came out of her
porn.
vagina.
So in Japanese culture, they can see buttholes, but they can't see vaginas.
Yep.
I think it's super funny that Jacob had
It's
a
only
tough
vagina.
time saying he had a tough time saying porn, but he had no problem saying hentai.
Hentioi.
Okay, so anyways, the lady whizzes out a snake, which I thought was weird, and then there was the bee dude that sent the bees. I
It
thought,
was unsettling.
yeah, I was like, fuck that. I could outrun a fucking bee. They're fucking stupid. And then I looked it up. Bees actually travel on average about 15 miles an hour. There's no fucking way I could outrun a bee.
Dude, you got that.
You might be
Like
able to get
5
up-
minutes.
You might be
Yeah.
able to get up to 15 miles an hour, but
Yeah, bees are fucking crazy fast. And then also, the thread dude and Gemma communicate like they're in a treehouse and they're talking through soup cans and yarn, which I thought was hilarious. But those were the main things that I thought were unintentionally funny. And then ultimately I created a hierarchy of how the bad guy list should have gone. Obviously the immortal dude, Gemma, is up front. He's the big bad guy. but I think the Rock dude should have been the second in command. Explodey lady should have been third in command. The wooden robot with the claw hand, that should have been fourth.
What about that dude who can merge into the shadows? He's pretty badass.
That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Metal Claw.
Snake Vag, number 5. B Dude, number 6. String Man, number 7, and Blind Dude, because I'm sorry if there's anybody that's listening that's blind. I just don't know if he'd be that effective.
I think Gemma should be like 7, and then the Blind Dude 8. Gemma's lame, dude.
What? He's immortal.
I know he's immortal, but that's boring.
Oh my... Are you kidding me? He can put his arm back on. Are you out of your mind?
No, listen.
More than his arm.
I'm talking about cool factor. This Gemma's like, okay, they made him invincible. He's like Superman. That's boring.
Okay, give me your hierarchy.
He was also a kung fu master.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he
okay.
is.
So my number 1 would be the dude who's made of skin. Not only is he extremely ruthless and like a very hateable character, but he has a super badass throwing weapon that just
Rock
fucking
guy?
murders everybody. Yeah, Rockman. Number 2 would likely be let me see here. It'd be hard. I'd probably go with the clone guy, because I just think he's badass.
The shadow guy?
B-Man. Yeah, B-Man would be number 3, just because, like, dude, the ability just to shoot bees out of your back is just scary as fuck, I guess, would be it. I guess that's where I'd put Gemma, then Snake Lady, and then I think the last one would be Blind Man.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh no, Yuri Muru. That's the guy who does the electricity.
Yeah.
I'd probably put him. I'd probably put him like 6 or 7.
Okay. So.
But number 1 would definitely be the stone guy, and Gemma would be near the bottom.
It sounds like the tail end of our hierarchy is the same. Jacob, what would your hierarchy look like?
Okay.
Oh man, here we go.
Okay, so here's a really, really big thing with anime that I know you guys are really new to, so you're not going to understand it as well. And also, you're just not as smart as I am, so there's also that. I wouldn't put Rock Dude, Hard Dude, whatever you want to call him. I wouldn't put him at the lowest tier. I would probably put Snake Girl and then B Dude below him. But like that only depend. See,
can you just give us a ranking, please?
Okay, I would keep everything the same.
Oh,
honestly.
You're so weird.
It was so well played. Like you have to remember, like, are you thinking of like each individual person, all 8 of them? Like, oh, if Rock Dude fought B Dude, who would win? Like, obviously Rock Dude would win because like bees can't hurt him.
If Rock Dude bought Clone Dude, he'd kill Clone Dude. If Dude killed fucking Blind Guy, he'd kill Blind Guy.
I'm also considering how easy they died. I'm also considering how easily they died.
The only reason he died is because he was poisoned.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. But if he was not poisoned, he wouldn't have died.
That's not necessarily true though. Like, a big thing with anime as Rock Dude is he's like what you picture as one. He gives you like what you're supposed to look for as far as like power. Like he's the first guy you defeat, so he's gonna come off as the strongest because you don't know how strong the antagonist is. So you're like, oh wow, this guy's so strong. And then 2, he's a brute. Like all he does is he's just strong. That's it. He doesn't have any strategy.
Too. He's fast too. He killed like really tons of fucking ninjas, dude. And he's
but like his ability, he's strong and he's fast. That's it.
Okay. So, what else do you need?
If you're a bad guy, what else?
See that, guys? See when it comes to anime, like there's
you're
so
just
much.
Saying all you're saying is that it's because of anime.
Yeah,
that's all you're saying.
No, I'm not saying because of anime. I'm saying like when you watch a lot of anime, like traditionally how the formula of it works is the first guy always comes off super strong. Like Naruto, there's a guy named Zabuza, super strong. Like just He's pictured as somebody as strong as a Hokage, which is a leader of a village. He's super strong. Then he gets beaten by just Kakashi, who's just not. He's below the Hokage. Like
Okay.
it's just, and then you later realize like there's a lot of strong
listen.
people.
I'm honestly trying to understand your point of view because you're just saying anime,
No.
anime.
I understand what he's saying. This is a common trope with anime, and the reason why he keeps saying that it's because it's an anime. It's a common trope with anime that the brute or the really really strong overpowered dude is kind of like the first dude to get picked off, so that you know
Exactly.
that anybody is vulnerable.
Exactly, and you're like, oh, dude, B dude could beat that guy, but yeah, like if those two guys were to fight, he could beat him. But if you're thinking about like fighting the antagonist, it's a different story.
I
Well,
get what you're saying.
I definitely think
But I
he
don't
was the
agree with it.
coolest, and the whole set.
Yeah,
But the
I
whole
know.
set,
I knew.
the whole of all the fights, his was definitely the coolest in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's how they all anime build it up. The first fight, I mean not all anime, but typically the first fight is like the one that everybody remembers. Like, oh dude, remember like Rock Dude?
Yeah.
I remember him.
Also, I was gonna try to watch this at work, but then I was afraid that I was gonna get fired because of all of the animated nudity and
Titties.
Yeah, and
That's the
also
first thing I put
extremely
is like,
graphic
wow.
sex scenes.
Way more graphic than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, dude, their animated titties were way ahead of its time.
How do you mean?
Well, I'm comparing current anime tits versus anime tits from 1990s, and I'd go with the 90s.
In what way?
Just more realistic.
How do you know that?
I felt both of them. I closed my eyes. I kind of pictured each, and dude, they took the cake. I did a blind test too.
Just like what's his name, Zakuru
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly
blind
like
swordsman.
Zakuru. Rock Dude.
Well, yeah, that was odd how it just started out. I definitely could not watch it at work either. I actually watched it in my car, just because.
With his pants off.
Yeah, something like that. No, I took my lunch. I went out to my car and I put it on my iPad. And even then, I was a little bit weirded out. Like people was going to look through my window and see there's nudity on there.
So then he put his pants on.
Yeah. So they wouldn't get an idea. The wrong idea. Like he was watching porn.
What? This is one thing I will say: the Eight Devils of Kimon, as they're called, they're definitely interesting characters. I will say, my opinion is it surprised me. I thought the animation was like really cool. The gore was pretty cool. The way that that like people's legs and shit were getting cut off, that was like pretty cool. The story is generally terrible, but I mean, I was overall impressed, I would say, for what I was thinking would be.
I thought the story was great. I thought the story for not being a series, because I feel like most anime work off a series, and like you can't get an action anime unless you're watching a series. I thought it did really good. There's a couple
Okay.
things, because I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just skewed because I only watch series typically, and then I watch movies of the series I watch. But like to build a storyline off of an anime and then have it be good, like I thought this was pretty good. Like this anime was definitely like years ahead of its time. Like the like you were saying when people slice, like when he was cutting people open, like all those ninjas, and how the blood is spewing out of them. That's still used in current anime.
That was
Like-
offline, by the way, that I was talking about that.
Yeah, dude, it's used all the time. So I don't know if they were the first to use it, but it's just crazy to think that stuff from 20 years ago is still currently being used in current anime.
What he's referring to is that in the movie, he like when they cut people, it spurts blood out.
It's like a
into the
geyser
mill.
of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting note to take, because there's a massive amount of influence that's actually been taken from this specific movie. The Wachowskis say that it's an influence on the Matrix franchise. Clearly, if you watch like the Kill Bill movies, this is cinematically looks very similar. And Jacob's talking about how in other animes they still do that, where they have blood spurting out as if it was a geyser from any sort of like cut or decapitation or whatever.
And another thing I thought was kind of interesting too is it was cool seeing the anime that's still being currently used and the anime that just got like canned. Like, do you guys remember the final fight where he was fighting the reincarnated dude?
Yeah.
And when the reincarnated dude was like pinned him up against the like 2x4 and was just punching him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but it was the same 3 different cuts of animation, just repeated about 2 or 3 times.
I did notice that. There was a couple of different times that they did something like that.
And yeah, that's not used as much as it used to be because it just looks silly now.
Well,
to me, that like when you were talking about like the things that look silly to you, that actually was one of the things that I thought looked kind of silly because when I was asking you, by the way, this is before the show, I asked them to watch 2 things actually, and they just didn't even fucking watch it.
Yes, we did. Shut up.
There's a fight, and basically every like tick of animation is completely different during a fight. Where this one, it was basically they took these 3 formats and then just repeated it.
Jacob?
Yep.
You were probably the kid that tried to draw like your own anime characters in like a spiral notebook, right?
No, I was the kid that couldn't tell other kids that I watched anime, otherwise I'd get the shit beat down to me.
So you probably drew like your dream girl in your spiral notebook, and you pretend like it was your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a certain anime girl who's like the girl you had a crush on when you were like a kid?
Was her name like Kikuki or something?
It was Hinata, actually. It was pretty close.
How do you spell it?
Hinata.
Hinata? Oh, what? Seriously?
Yeah, she saw it.
What's wrong with you?
She looks legally blind, but don't worry, it's just her Byakugan.
Oh my god,
dude. You make me cringe so goddamn hard, dude.
Jesus.
Are you serious? You know that's a dude.
No, it's a girl.
It says here that it's a dude.
Big old titties.
It says here that it's a dude.
Hinata?
Yeah.
He's like looking it up.
I'm fucking doing it. It's a girl. I know who it is, bitch.
Yeah.
It's Naruto's wife.
Okay. Wow. So, hey, speaking of things that age, do you guys want to talk about what aged poorly and what aged well? Because I have a couple of things on either side. So, what I thought aged well, and I have an asterisk behind this, the animation I thought aged well with an asterisk, because the only thing I didn't like is that it was very difficult to tell people like apart. And I get it. Jacob, shut up. Take your sigh back.
So wrong.
I know, but dude, like after a while, after you get acclimated to the animation style, I think it's really well done. There's a lot going on at the same time while there's not a lot going on with the animation, especially during action sequences. The other thing that I thought that did age well, just the lone wolf sort of mercenary type of story. You plug that type of character arc of Jubei in for any sort of like character, that's going to be a winner every time. I mean, you take it back to even like westerns, like with the Dollars trilogy or Once Upon a Time in the West. Those worked really well, where there was a drifter that was kind of good and bad, but had their own moral code that they applied to the movie. It works really well. What did you guys think aged well?
I definitely agree. The animation was number one. Like that part where he rips the arms off and is like dripping the blood into his mouth. I was like, okay, I get it. I 100% agree with you on everyone looking very similar, because even if you look at the cover of like I just pulled up the cover and there's like a dude in a white robe and he looks just like this other dude in a white robe. They look the same. And then even the female looks a lot like the dude in the white robe, to be honest with you. So that I didn't feel like was that great. But yeah, a little bit of sexism and like the lady basically exists at.
Well, what aged well? Because we'll get to what aged poorly in a second.
Okay, so animation is number one.
Okay,
That's
Yeah,
just
Mr.
number
Negative.
one. And the I did find like the B guy and all the enemies in general to be diverse enough to keep it interesting.
yeah, that's a really good point. Like to have like a proper rogues gallery where they're all not just the same type of people, does speak a lot to the creativity of this movie.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
Jacob,
All right. So a couple things I see. I didn't do as much research as like per se the like what this anime carried over, but another things. Sorry, a lot of things I noticed that they did that a lot of anime that came out later that I watched did partake from that is like the how the like top or how like they introduce there's like the 8 villains and they're like the top of the Shadow Shogun, which carried over to that. Dude, that goes to every anime, and that's not like a lifestyle anime like Naruto. There's the Akatsuki. There's 10 of them. It goes over to just like it goes over to Dragon Ball. It goes over to One Piece. It that literally like I don't know if they started it, but that's for even current new stuff that came out within the last 2 or 3 years, which is like crazy to just like know that something that old, because this was made in the 90s. Like anime in the 90s wasn't good.
are you talking about how they count down like their rogues gallery? Like they give them like a group name with like a number.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah. I mean, and I think another thing that they did good that also I think you guys would agree on is even though they're numbered, like there's 8 of them.
Yeah.
If it's like, let's say number 8 was Rock Dude, like there's controversy on like, hey, is Rock Dude the strongest? Is he the weakest? Like there's like and I love that. Like there's an anime called Bleach, and there's like the Espada, and the number 10 Espada, in his true form he's actually the number 0 Espada, which is he's supposed to be 1 ahead of number 1, but he's only ranked on physical power. So it's just like crazy that like they even adapted that from hopefully this anime.
Crazy.
I thought that was pretty cool. And then I thought the animation sucked, but like if I was comparing it from like 2020, the animation sucked. But if I'm comparing it from like if I watched it in the 90s, dude, this anime was 10 years ahead of its time.
That
10, 15
that
years.
video you sent of Naruto looks to me way worse than this animation.
It looks
No.
flat.
Dude.
At least this animation I feel like has depth.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree. It looks more realistic, and like the Naruto you could tell is just kind of like a chintzy cartoon.
Yeah.
But this is like gritty and like I don't know. There's more depth, and yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
see, when I was a virgin like you boys, I used to think that too. But
I got a kid.
yeah, well, your kid that doesn't watch anime yet, so he's a virgin too. When I started delving out into like the like other anime cultures, like the other art styles and like how people write. When I used to watch only Naruto, I was like, oh, like why would I watch Dragon Ball? It looks stupid compared to Naruto. But when you like really learn to appreciate the art styles, Naruto and One Piece and then like JoJo's, who are 3 different styles, they all look really good. But I think the Naruto ones actually they actually had a special producer who he only wrote 3 different series of Naruto anime, and they hired him to animate this one. So I think you're completely wrong, but
Okay. Well, I'll have to agree to disagree. A couple of other things that I thought did age well again, was the continuity. There was a point where I want to say that it was the snake lady that
Vagina
cut,
Girl.
yeah, that cut Jubei's robe, and all throughout the entire movie, there was a slice out of his robe that they remembered to animate in.
That's cool, right?
Yeah. So I thought that was an attention to detail that was extremely necessary. And then I forgot the other thing that I thought aged well. Never mind. That didn't age well. I was gonna.
Can I ask you
Go
a
ahead.
question as far as like the attention to detail?
Yeah.
You know the very end where I thought he cut off his leg to make that guy drop into the liquid gold.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys think that too? Did he cut off his leg?
Did I think he did that? No.
I don't remember that specifically.
I don't
Like
think he
when
did.
the guy was like holding, like he was in the gold and then he was about to go up
And
and,
he
then he
grabbed
grabbed
his
his leg.
No, I thought he cut off the guy's arm and then escaped
See,
that way.
I thought, when I looked at it, it looked like he was like falling and half of the guy's leg fell off. But when he like jumped into the water, it looked like he had both of his legs. So I was kind of confused on
Are
that.
you talking about you thought that what's his face cut off Gemma's leg?
No, what's his face cut off his own leg so Gemma would fall into the
Oh, yeah.
gold.
No.
I don't remember that.
That he cut off Gemma's arm.
He cut off his arm?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
no,
he
because
cut-
at
he
the
cut
end
off
he
his
was
arm.
like holding up, like he was like grabbing onto his leg.
No.
He cut off Gamma's arm and then held up his gold-plated arm. The reason I know is because I thought, damn, dude, I wonder if he's going to keep that gold arm and sell it for some money.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh,
Maybe I just saw it wrong then.
this is also what aged well. In any movie that features like a lone wolf or like some sort of mercenary for hire, you always have to have a cold opening that shows how badass they are, and this movie did that. That was another thing that I thought aged appropriately.
I agree.
Jacob. All right. It
Yeah, I
sounds like
agree
he's
too.
agreed. Okay, there he is.
Is he like broken?
Yeah. Now, do you guys want to? Because there's a lot that aged poorly, but do you want to go talk about the shit that aged poorly?
Yeah.
I think just right off the top, we can mark off like sexism, sadism, and misogyny. Right? We can just go ahead and say all that.
Yeah.
I also think the animation deserves a nomination because, again, I couldn't tell who the fuck was who at the beginning. I also thought that
You guys don't have a good concept of animation.
Okay, shut up, Jacob. I
Listen,
also
if
thought
you're-
that
if
the
you're-
hang on.
if-
I also thought that
What?
the storytelling was frantic enough to get a nomination for what aged poorly, because I had to go read the plot afterward to find out what the fuck this movie was about.
I agree with you. I didn't have to do that. I think I got it for the most part. But what I will say is, as Jacob's saying, if you have to quantify and or provide supplemental information or have supplemental information to know who's who, there's like a problem. I know you're saying, oh, well, we just don't know anime. But like, why should we have to know anime to be able to tell the difference?
Well,
Oh, he got punked.
I guess it's not really anime you have to get, but it's like art. Like when you look at like a piece of art, you kind of get ideas of what it's about.
Oh my god. I just found out. Oh, this makes so much sense now. Jacob is a snob about anime.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's in.
Oh, 100%.
I didn't
But
realize.
my argument is that as a completely newcomer to anime, right? I'll say this when I have my closing thoughts about this, but I feel that everyone should be easily noticeable, and I'd say generally they are easily noticeable. But if you took the blind guy's blindness out, I would very likely not know the difference between him and Genma.
Or the lightning dude.
Or the lightning dude too. The only thing is the lightning dude is a little more effeminate. But
Yeah.
other than that, got me.
Yeah. I'm with you.
You guys are normies.
Okay. So, Jacob, what do you think aged poorly then, you piece of shit?
I mean, I think I already went over that. It was the like 3-cut animation
Mhm.
style.
Oh, yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that definitely did not. I mean, it transferred over, but not in a good way.
I'm with you on that. I get that.
And I mean, that's really it. Like, honestly, it's pretty solid. I guess the porn shit like definitely has gone away, but I think it's funny the actual like showing titties thing has gone away, but the like not like gentoi showing, but like hinting towards like girls with like huge tits, but like it's covered, like everything's covered. That still is like pretty prominent in anime. They're called fan service.
Wow.
The big titties.
Yeah.
So that's for you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess that didn't age well, but it just kind of changed over time.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
That's it.
What do you guys grade it?
I guess I'll start. I will say pleasantly surprised. Like when I was watching this, I was going, okay. Like when you're watching that first part and it's gory, I was saying, this is like a lot better. It was a lot better than like when I look at Naruto, that does not look entertaining to me. But this was more, I don't know the word for it, visceral, and I did like that. My rating overall would probably be a C to a C minus, just because still it was confusing to me, but the animation really pushed it up there. What about you, Jay?
So given what aged well and what didn't, the animation, and then also trying to remove that it wasn't anime and trying to visualize it as if they were live action, it helped, but it also didn't help enough because, again, the story was really frantic. I had to give it a C minus. It wasn't a terrible, like, I watched the whole thing and I wasn't mad at myself for watching it. And if it was like just on in the background somewhere, like, I would still watch it. It's not like I would like avert my attention away from whatever it was that was happening. And then the other thing that I thought definitely should have gotten some more attention were at least the bad guys. If I feel like maybe they could have done away with the blind dude, and the explosion lady, and that's it. And they maybe should have paid more attention to some of the really creative bad guys.
What about you? I'm interested here, Jacob, because you're so vastly different than us. So.
And this was your pick.
So actually, one thing before I tell you my grade, one thing to kind of pick on with Jay is the blind dude thing.
Oh my god, go ahead.
I don't know if it's like a thing with like anime or
yeah,
like whatever, but a lot of anime have blind people who are like OP.
Okay.
Like especially when it comes to like swords, yeah. I want to say samurai, but I would say I'd grade the whole thing as, see, if I watched it in the 90s, I would probably say A, but with like today's standards, with how good anime is now, I would give it like a C.
You gave it the same rating I did.
Yeah, I'd say C or C plus. One thing that I would say bugged me is the series is called Ninja Scroll, but I feel like the protagonist or the antagonist is clearly like he's a samurai, not a ninja.
But the antagonist is a ninja.
Yeah. But like he's clearly he's not a ninja, the main character, and the old dude's a ninja. He's a samurai, so that really bugged me a lot. Like, even though that this was made in the 90s and it was definitely ahead of its time for sure. Like, they kind of, in my opinion, I think they fucked up the title. It should be Samurai Scroll.
Hey,
okay.
Hey, you know what? Maybe what would have made the blind guy way cooler would be if he was immortal and took the place of Gemma, and he was like the last bad guy.
That would have been cool, actually.
Nope.
Yeah.
Rule with anime: every blind guy can't be the main character.
Oh my god!
Or
Shut
the main
up.
antagonist.
No
Dude,
way.
bro, I've never heard such a thing. Why are there so many rules with anime and so many caveats when you watch it?
It's a rule.
That's broken. So so you're saying there's no like, if you're doing anime, you get no creative control.
Nope. You have to.
Same thing over and over again.
This is the formula. You have to follow it. Dude, I'll make 2.0 listen to this podcast and he'll agree with me.
Then I'm disagreeing.
Oh fuck! I can't believe you've done this.
I'm going out and saying I'm glad that I don't like anime because I don't want to be pigeonholed into watching the same thing over and over again and like not allowing anything different to ever happen because that's not anime.
It's okay. It's not like doing something over. It's like people who like Madden. It's the same fucking game every year, but every year for some reason everybody buys it. It's still the best fucking game ever.
No,
it's because it follows a formula that's
a bad
so
analogy.
good you can beat it.
That's a super bad analogy. That's like saying
or
COD,
fucking Call of Duty. Everybody bought the new Call of Duty. It's the same fucking game that's been coming out for the last 20 years.
I don't feel like these are good analogies.
Yeah.
No, this would be like I go in, I create a new it'd have to be like a storyline. So say Quentin Tarantino, every time he makes a movie, every movie would have to be the same. The character has to be the same, male protagonist with a male antagonist and a female. And you know what? If you make anything different, it doesn't count. It's not a Quentin Tarantino movie. You can't change it. If it ever changes, it's not Tarantino.
So we're on the same page.
Okay,
No.
So there you have it. I graded it a C-, Scotty grades it a C, and Jacob grades it a C+.
Yep.
Because he has
There
an
you have
anime
it.
bias. And Scott is Japanese.
Yep.
Cheap.
Hey, before we close, this is late. I just have to say one thing because it's fresh in my mind. I went and saw 1917, and Jay, I think you should go see it.
Yeah, if it's like on some streaming platform, I'll watch it. I'm just not going to spend any money on it.
It is unlike any war movie. It's not.
Yeah, but
It's
you
not-
like war movies. You're like Jacob with
No.
animes.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
go into Scott's house, he's like, "This is my helmet from World War II. This is a Tommy gun from World War II."
I definitely like war movies, but my wife even said that was like not like any traditional war movie that you ever saw.
Scott, what's your favorite movie? Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, it's my favorite. It is.
What's your
Oh.
second favorite movie?
Forrest Gump.
Oh,
Which features a pretty heavy Vietnam War scene.
oh yeah,
fact-
during World War Vietnam.
World
In
War
fact,
Viet-
I would say that Forrest Gump is probably the best Vietnam movie ever made.
Oh,
Huh.
And it's not even a Vietnam movie.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Do you guys have any shout-outs?
Hey, shout out to my guy Jay Henney. He's been listening in lately. Really loves it. He thinks we're too mean to baby Jacob over there. Jeremy.
Yeah, he's asking for it this week, though.
yeah.
Jeremy, Robbie, Patrick.
Jacob
hey,
agreed
I'm
with it.
gonna say hi to Jackson too. Thanks for listening, man. Appreciate you.
Jacob, go.
I want to give a just because after Scott's shout out, I want to give a big ass warm butt cheek welcome to Jay Henney. I wanna thank you because he was one of my OG dads, not like real dad because I don't know one of those like he left me, but like metaphorical dads, and Jax too, two like super pretty good avid podcast listeners, and then like obviously like Kylie, those other people, but they're like the two biggest ones I probably want to give a shout out this week.
All right. Shout out to Patricia. Shout out to Adolf. Shout out to Delbert. Those people are really avid listeners too. Shout out to Jax. He gives us a lot of really cool feedback. Shout out to Jacob's real dad. Without him, I wouldn't be able to make fun of Jacob. Shout out to Jacob's mother. Shout out to Ben's mom. Shout out to Javad. And shout out Kid Rock. What's up?
Hey all, thank you for being here. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Laters.